Hello, and welcome to episode 27 of On Second Thought with Mike and Matt. Coming to you again on our bi-weekly show. Today is Thursday, February 27th, one day before payday, one day before the last day of February, and we're almost into March. Hello, Matthew.
Episode 27 on February 27th.
29.
We do this stuff. We do this stuff for the listeners. We do these things for you, the people.
Yeah, if it's not too late, go play the lottery right now. Put it all on 27.
27. That's your pick 4 for the day.
There you go. And the end of February, Matt, means that spring training baseball is almost here, or is here.
It is here, yeah.
I think the Major League starts in about a month, maybe a little earlier.
Mm-hmm.
There's probably some games somewhere a week or so earlier. Then they go back to spring training for a few days. Then they officially kick it off. But baseball is here. Have you been dabbling at all?
I have. I've been paying attention to my Reds, of course, and the great coach, great manager, Terry Francona. He's very, very, very manageable, very good guy. Players seem to be happy. Players are on a roll right now. Always good vibes the first couple weeks of spring before the injuries and all that coming.
Before they lose 12 in a row and people tune them out. And
April's always a rough month for the Reds.
I want to see lots of pictures of you catching Mr. Francona on his scooter in downtown Cincinnati.
I'll wait and see. Hopefully, come here when they're back in town. Hopefully, we see him around, scooting around. There's plenty of places to live for him, down there around the stadium and that. You said he likes to live close to the stadium, so we'll see.
I don't, in the Boston days, there was no such stories of him on a scooter or anything of the sort. Midwest, more friendlier folk, maybe bigger roadways. Riding a scooter in Boston is take your life into your own hands.
I can imagine.
Some of these other places, more open roads, not as fast paced. I don't know. I watch your traffic. You sent me the traffic cameras. That traffic looked the same as my traffic, but they always like to say people in the Midwest or that part of the country take things at a slower clip. So maybe that's why he gets the scooter out and about. Anyways.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. I remember that, every once in a while, it's funny. Mike will text me. Because I sent Mike weeks, back in January when it had a big snowstorm come through. I'll go back and forth. I sent Mike a link. Ohio's got this thing called OH Go, where it's got all the traffic cameras and all that stuff on it. You can go in there, and I showed Mike a couple of the cameras near home where he could, keep an eye out on hometown and that. And one of these days I'm going to go out there and I'm going to stand by the camera here. I'm going to text you and wave and say, hey,
and just moon.
Take a look at the camera. Yeah. Moon you or something.
I was going to say something else, but I'm not as punchy as I would be on a Saturday.
Yeah, really being on a Thursday night.
You don't know how things land on a Thursday after work. Saturday morning after you've had a good sleep, certain things might land better. So,
Well, yeah, I mean, on a Saturday morning, the day's just starting. You get everything in front of you. Yeah, you're feeling good. Thursday evening, you're sitting here. It's like, man, I got all this to deal with, and the day's almost done.
Yeah. Yes, sir. So baseball is here, and that's going to be the first topic we want to discuss. I've been meaning to get this on the docket for some time.
We've been talking about this.
It's not so much, it's loosely around baseball, but I think it's more of like, what would Matt have done in this situation? So it's been many years since I have been involved in baseball card collecting. But I think the backstory here is that there is a phenom pitching for the Pittsburgh Pirates, Paul Skeens. And many, many years ago, baseball cards, took a leap, and they no longer were just like, came with a stick of gum, and here was like, 10 to 12 cards on just basic cardboard. Now they got autographs, game-worn jerseys, you name it, they put it on there. So
it's no longer a kid's hobby.
Right. It hasn't been for a number of years. This is nothing new. But supposedly there's a one-of-a-kind baseball card for Paul Skeens. This is from Topps, and it features the pitcher, autograph, and a patch from a game-worn jersey. And supposedly one of one. So sometimes, when I was collecting cards some 25 years ago, they'd cut up someone's jersey, right? And there could be like 100 of those in circulation, or someone's glove, or a splinter of a bat. Just imagine you take one jersey, one bat, one glove, how many slivers you could put. And so the more quantity drives down the price. But supposedly this is a one of one, right? And some 11-year-old from Los Angeles, that's the key part of the story here, is that he's from Los Angeles, won the baseball card, or pulled it from a pack. Okay. And the Pirates were offering him a pretty big package to trade him for the card. What the Pirates wanted to do with the card, I'm not sure. They were going to put it on display. Do they have some sort of Hall of Fame? Was it something that people wanted to come and see and take pictures? Who knows? But here was the offer, Matt. And what I want to know is, what would you have done? So you get 2 Pirates season tickets behind home plate for the next 30 years. 30. A softball game for 30 at PNC Park, plus coaching from Pirates alumni. A spring training experience like no other. Private tour of Pirate City and Lacombe Park. Meet and greet with Paul Skeens. 2 Paul Skeens autographed jerseys. Take batting practice and warm up with the team, and other unique experiences at Pirate City and their park. Okay. And I think the long story short is the kid said no. And I'm not sure if the auction has ended yet. If he's made his money, I don't have that part of the story here, which would be important. But I don't do all the legwork of my own work. But anyways, I would think it would be more appealing if you lived in Pittsburgh, right?
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, this 11-year-old kid who lives in Los Angeles, what is fucking 30 years of Pittsburgh Pirates season tickets behind home plate? So what would you have done, Matt? Let's just say it was the Reds. Okay.
And I'm in Cincinnati.
And you're in Cincinnati.
Yeah. I would definitely take that deal.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Oh, hell yeah. I would absolutely take 30 years of behind the home plate tickets. Okay. Say Joey Votto, whatever, Ella DeCruz, whatever. I would definitely do the meet and greet, the whole dinner meeting and all that shit. Everything yes, absolutely. Here you go. Here's the card. I would definitely take that deal. Definitely do all of that. Oh yeah. Now I'm pretty sure, Mike, though, this card we're talking about, this pack that he opened up, is not your run of the mill baseball pack that you're getting from Walmart or Target, or anything, or like we used to do when we used to grow up. This is like a $300 pack of cards or something or other. This is like your premium pack. So this wasn't just some kid going down to the dollar store and getting a pack of cards with his gum.
Right. And the articles that I've been able to find, doesn't say it's been sold yet, but its estimated value is around $1 million, $1 million. Now, I am not up on the sale of these things. Obviously, it's going to go through an auction. So the auction house is going to take their cut. The government's going to probably take their cut. I would imagine there's some sort of going through an auction site, the government gets a cut.
Well, it's income. So yeah, they're going to get their income. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right, so I'm just
the auction house is going to take a cut.
I'm spitballing. The kid walks away with $650,000.
If it sold for $1 million.
Yeah.
Yeah, between 650 and 750.
Yeah. Now, as an 11-year-old, I'm not sure you can even enter into that type of deal, right? I'm sure the parents have to put that up for him. And so are the parents taking the money? Are the parents putting it in a trust for this kid? That's their business to work out. But for Matt Helmer, well, again, we're saying, what would have Matt done? You would have got, let's say, $650,000, or were you taking the season ticket? What are you doing?
I'm taking the season tickets. I'm taking the behind home plate season tickets. I'm taking the go down. I would have negotiated a little bit.
You know why? You know why you would do it that? Because you want to be the man of the people. You don't want to be known as this guy that spurred your hometown team and look at this, money grubber guy. You want to be celebrated. Every time you're behind home plate, they're going to say for 30 years, there's the guy.
There's that guy. That's the guy that's the guy that saved Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Right there. Yeah. No, I would definitely. I probably would have pushed it a little more to be down in the dugout and shit. Maybe for a game or two. Go down. Instead, meet a couple players. Go into the. I would have pushed a little bit.
And just think, you could put a couple of those games up for do some donate them to charity. They could do they could raffle them off for some sort of event. To make you could even put some the nights you don't want to go. You could put them up on whatever the ticket sites are for sale.
Yeah, you can do that. Now, if I was in, say, or say Los Angeles and Cincinnati, I would have tried to negotiate some type of deal where, okay, Reds, you talk to Los Angeles and get me somehow some good tickets to Dodgers games, and here you go, you can have the card.
What if I said to you, Matt, how about for the next 30 years, every time the Reds come to L.A., we get you and your family's, tickets for every home. I don't know how many times the Reds go to LA every year. Is it once a year, twice a year? Probably once. I would say once or twice. It's not that often anymore because they play every, the baseball season. You play every team now. Yeah, so they probably come to Cincinnati and they probably go to LA.
Yeah. No, that wouldn't be enough.
Wouldn't be enough.
Maybe give me a suite. Even then, I don't. Yeah, no. I need Dodgers tickets with free Dodger dogs.
Dodger dogs. How about some showgirls? The women of the night. Have you seen that on YouTube? It was like a year or two ago. That new stadium in LA for the Chargers and the Rams, and at one of the end zones, I don't know which rapper it was or streamer personality. He had all sorts of strippers in his booth, and they were all twerking and stuff. And they were money was being thrown at them and stuff. It was wild to see that during an NFL game.
I never saw that.
Yeah, the guy's never to. I don't think be allowed to set foot in there again.
Has he been banned? What would you do?
I hate leaving the house, Matt.
I know that's true.
They have to throw in some sort of parking, some I don't have to get myself there. I mean, if you're asking me right now, present time, I would take the money. I would take the money. But I got kids I got to put through college. Your kids your kids are taking a different route, being more in the trades. So yeah, I would take the money.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I would choose the tickets and all the other bullshit that came with it.
Yeah.
I definitely. Yeah.
All right, that's settled. Now we have more pressing matters, Matt. This is really what I wanted to get on the show tonight because we know you are a man of fine taste. Your cigars and your pipes and your bourbon, and you don't like ketchup on a lot of things. Especially things that shouldn't have ketchup. You're a man of high highfalutin taste.
Sophisticated.
Yeah. So I want you to tell me about Appalachian sipping cream.
What is it?
I saw this came across this the other day. Eggo brunch in a jar. Waffles and syrup cream liqueur. Appalachian sipping cream. 20% alcohol, 40 proof. I don't know if you can. Not really.
It sounds very, very sweet.
Let me text that to you.
Yeah, I can probably Google it here. Eggo sipping cream.
I mean, are you going to procure one of these for an upcoming show and just do a little sipping in between segments and give us a little?
I mean, I gotta figure out where I want to be part of the Schindler's Club. Yeah.
Just one of your contacts in West Virginia.
I'll have to. I don't know who I got done with. Okay, I'll have to look this up. Eggo brunch in a jar sipping cream. Okay, so these are all. Just so you know, these are all called sipping creams. This is Sugarlands, just different flavors. It's like a moonshine. Sugarland sipping cream. They got eggnog, mint chocolate chip, orange cream. Now the orange cream sounds pretty good. I don't know, Mike. The waffles and syrup.
I could picture you out in the morning in the farm. You got your radio on, listening to WKRP. The birds are chirping, the bugs are zapping, and you're out there on the zero turn with a little sipping cream.
It's I bet you it's really, really sweet.
You might not. That might not go so well with the doctor.
Oh man,
you got to run that by the doctor first.
I think so. I think so, sir. I think 5-ounce Eggo brunch in a jar, 1.5 ounce sugar. Oh my goodness, bacon moonshine.
If Denny's listening, slow down on the beer for a week and get some sipping cream, and let us know how it goes.
Yeah. I gotta figure out where to buy this at. I gotta figure where I can buy it.
The closer I look at the picture, there's like elastics on it. Is this some homemade job or is this an actual mass produced?
Here's something to think about here, Mike. Looking at the website, it says ways to enjoy. Now here's a couple of things.
It's made in fucking Gatlinburg, dude. Just go to Gatlinburg.
Yeah. Well, there we go. So here's a couple of things. I'm looking here, okay, ways to enjoy. I see 2 ways to enjoy this. We're thinking bad enough, okay, this Eggo maple syrup butter is going to shoot me over the edge. But check this out. It says here, drizzle over your favorite ice cream.
Oh, wow. Matt's just going to go out. This is, Bob, I've had enough. Just dumps the whole thing in a ice cream.
Yep. Peace out. I'm done. That's the way to go. And here's something else. Transform your coffee with a swirl of sipping cream. A cup of coffee with some of it. I tell you what, sir.
Jay has it for medicinal purposes. He has the McGillicuddies.
Mm-hmm.
This is what we need to do. We need to get you 3 cups of coffee. 1 for the McGillicuddies, 1 for the Zambuca, and then 1 for the sipping cream. And you're gonna let us know which one you like best. and then how long are you up? And then how long are you up for that day?
You're done, bro. Oh no, sir. Mike, it's 3.5 miles away. I can buy it.
All right, I can bullshit for 20 minutes. Get to it.
Yeah, I say hold the fort down. Hold the fort down. I'll be back. I'm working from home tomorrow. I have to go down there.
Let's get back to Gatlinburg. We were having a conversation earlier in the week, like how long we've known each other and never met. And then I was talking about how I was in Toronto one time, and I was having help me out with that again.
Zyantane?
No, the
poutine.
Poutine.
The poutine?
With Zyantane and Captain Junkie. I've been in Toronto with them, but I still have yet to meet Matt in person. And Matt likes to vacation in Gatlinburg, and I even went down to Gatlinburg.
Yeah.
And Matt was nowhere to be seen.
I perfectly avoided I avoided it that weekend. Purposely.
I'm starting to get the sense. I'm starting to catch on.
Yeah, we need to rectify that here soon.
Yep. All right. I got some airings of the grievances to get out of my system here. We're going to talk about Avowed in a little bit. I've been playing it a bunch on Xbox. I need someone out there to tell me, some audio expert, maybe that's you, Matt, why when I use an Xbox, when I get play on the Xbox and I have a headset on, do I still need to turn down the volume on my TV? Okay. So
instead of like the TV automatically muting itself or something?
Right. So the TV behind me here, when I pop on the headset that you have there, the sound from my television goes through the headset and my television is automatically not like put on mute. It just
goes away.
It just goes away. On the Xbox, my kids say this to me all the time too. You know, you got to turn the sound down when you play with your Xbox when you have a headset. So when I'm on an Xbox, you hear this like echo. I'm like, you know, when you go back on the screen, I'm like, why do I hear that noise? Because the TV is still on. I got to turn my TV all the way down to 0, not mute, because you know what happens with these fancy TVs these days when you mute a television? Every few seconds, mute, your television's on mute. You know, you get that. So you got to put it on 0. So why do I need to do that on an Xbox? They just handling the audio differently than. Is it like
it's not all connected? Maybe
I don't know.
Doesn't realize that you got a headset on.
It the Xbox definitely does because it says headset assigned.
Right. But I mean,
it's not like one brand of television. It happens on my Samsung. It happens on the LG. You know, so
maybe it thinks that there's someone with you that still wants to hear the sound, even though you have the headset on.
I don't think so.
I notice it here when I play in the Xbox and I put my headset on. I gotta turn the volume down on my speakers here otherwise I get that echo and everything.
Now, recently on 2 different televisions, my Xbox has got out of sync with the soundbar.
It's like.
So if I'm like, you know, shooting my gun in Call of Duty or stabbing someone in Avowed, I hear the gun and the stabbing like 2-3 seconds later. Now, it's losing the HDMI handshake between the television, the console, and the soundbar. Now, again, it happens on my LG. It happened on the Samsung. The only way to make it go away is to power down the soundbar and then power the soundbar back up. And then the sounds, you know, it's sort of like redoes the handshake and everything is back in sync again.
So it's like you're watching it's like you're watching a Chinese movie, karate movie or something like that.
Yeah.
You know, subtitles or whatever you call it.
Yeah, the sounds just happen way after. So if I'm on the dashboard and I'm going left to right or right to left, all of a sudden you hear
and you're already done.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's frustrating.
It is frustrating. So
that's I wonder, like, we've talked about this before. You know, like my TV, you know, Sony TV, Sony sound system. Never any issues with it. It just works together. It syncs. It knows. As before in the past,
I've imagine if you plugged a PS5 into it.
Oh, I'd probably be. The heavens open up, and it's probably like, oh, you got the complete set. You've leveled up.
And give you some free sipping cream.
Free, yeah, exactly. Maybe I need to get a PS5.
So
that's probably a good idea.
Those are just some things. I know we got a lot of Xbox people that listen. So if you tell me, hey, Mike, there's actually a setting you need to do to make sure when you put your headset in, it doesn't come out of your television at the same time, let me know. But I'm stumped at this point. And all my kids, my son was away. My wife took 2 of my kids to Portugal last week for vacation. And my son's Xbox sounds like a PS4, like a jet engine. And all my other Xboxes don't sound like that. I took, I unplugged it from his entertainment center, looked at it, not even a speck of dust anywhere. Things absolutely, fine looking. So I know I have one down here that I wasn't using as much, so I gave it to him. And I'm like, how come I'm not getting any sound? Because when he's playing with his friends, he's got the headset on, so he's got his television all the way down to 0. And oh, by the way, I have the noisy Xbox right here next to me, and I played Avowed on it for about an hour, and it wasn't making any noise at all. And he always said it was
really.
He said it was only certain games like NBA and Fortnite would make the thing sound real loud. So, but anyway,
interesting. Interesting.
Now to air some grievances about PlayStation. Doing a lot of gaming, man. Doing a lot of gaming lately. And, I was looking at my library last night on PlayStation. And, I've been a PS Plus subscriber for years. Always collecting those free games. But those games aren't always yours. Sometimes they can go off to service, right? I'm not sure about the monthly ones, if those ever leave. But there's ones that are part of like the PS Plus Premium, sort of like GamePass. Their GamePass, you know how games go on and off GamePass. Games can go on and off PS Plus. However, if you have added them to your library, but not downloaded them, they are in your library with the PS Plus symbol, and then it's got a lock icon. Because somehow in their fucking banana ass system, you still have a license for that, but you can't play it. So I'm like, why doesn't it just get removed from my library then? So in theory, the reason being, you could have downloaded a game, supposedly, this is from the materials that I have read, you could have downloaded a game from PS Plus, and if they removed it from the library, because you've downloaded it, you still might be able to play it. And you just got to do like their restore license feature. But if you've never downloaded it and it gets removed from the service, you can't play it. You got to buy it. And the only way to get it out of your library is to manually go through all the ones that are locked and say hide. Like, why don't they just get like pulled out of my library? If I haven't, if I haven't downloaded it, just like suck those out. Instead, I got this like bloated It's like, when back in the day when we were playing like a lot of like Division betas and Evolve betas and Call of Duty betas, all those games would be stuck in your library on Xbox and everywhere else, right? And you have all these friggin' games, and they came up with the hide feature, so they would no longer be there. Well, this is what I would have to do to get them out of the library, just to see the actual games that I can play.
That would bug me.
It drove me because, like, you go to the help guides and it says, well, make sure your PS Plus is still active. Okay, my PS Plus doesn't expire till June. Use the restore license feature. Restore license feature only works for games that you have downloaded, not for games that are in your library. Then they said, make sure there's no one that, you're not sharing the PlayStation with someone who actually owns those games. There's no one on my PlayStations but me. So I finally did they got like Ask an Expert thing on PlayStation. I think it's like community-based answers. And someone got back to me and said, well, the games are probably no longer on PS Plus, but you still maintain a license for them. And the only way to get them out of your library is to use the hide feature. But you could then buy it from the store, and then it would be back in your library.
I mean, I kind of it kind of makes sense, okay. But what's silly is the fact that it still shows up. I mean, like Netflix and Disney and Spotify, they all figured out when a song or a movie or something goes off their service, it's not like you can still see it on your Netflix. You know, it's gone. You can't see it anymore.
I'm sure some dweeb somewhere said, well, if we remove it, out of sight, out of mind. If we leave it there and they really wanted to play it and they no longer have access to it, maybe they'll have an impulse buy.
I'm sure there's some accountant penny pitcher somewhere with that thought. Yes. But you could also on the same hand say, okay, well, this game's been sitting in this guy's library for 3 years. He's never touched it. Fuck it. It's gone.
Yeah, he doesn't own it, right? It's like it was part of the thing, and now it's not in the service anymore. He's never played it. Yeah.
I think, in my opinion, the only way it should show up is if you actually downloaded it. Okay, if you haven't downloaded it or not, if it's in, being in your library, being downloaded is two different things. Okay, it should only show up if you download it, and if you downloaded it and you can no longer play it, then gone, whatever. You uninstall it and it goes away forever.
Now, this should be a feature too, like a purge feature. Remove all games that are on PS Plus that are no longer in the service. Something,
yes.
Like hide all or something like that.
Yes. And there might be something somewhere in there too. I kind of doubt it, where they can still claim or say that all these games are still in your library.
Oh yeah, your library looks like I have like 800 games under PS Plus.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying.
I bet you
things.
I bet you half of them I can't even play now.
Yeah, I mean, it's two different things. Yeah, I can go to the Claremont County Library and there's thousands of books I can go out and check out and read. But I can only get a couple at a time or something like that. It's silly.
Yeah. So that was a cranky night last night. I fucked up my Diablo Barbarian character, so I said, all right, I'm going to look and see what else I can play or whatever, and I saw these locks on my library, and
got intrigued.
I got intrigued, and then I got upset, and then I got hostile, and then I played a little bit of Avowed, and then I went to bed. That was my Wednesday night. Before we move on to what we've been playing, I do have a severe case of FOMO, Matt, over Monster Hunter Wilds. I messaged you on Blue Sky that they say it's the easiest of the ones in the franchise. That immediately piques my interest because I don't want to be bashing my head up against a wall. I've been watching a lot of reviews and footage of it. It does look interesting, so I'm debating whether to pull the trigger on it or not.
It's the hotness right now, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going good. A lot of people are playing it. It's a good series. It's got a, history to it. So
I think that's what got me looking at my PS Plus, was seeing if I had any of those other games in the library for free to maybe download and play one of those first. But so is that game is on PC? Has Goth made any mention that he's going to be playing it?
I don't know. I haven't had a chance to watch Goth yesterday or today. Just busy at work, so I don't know. I know he's played it before, the other ones.
I think it comes out tomorrow.
Yeah, he gets super early access. I bet you. I think he tweeted yesterday or today. Yeah, he's playing it. Now that I recall, I saw a tweet. Yeah, it was today because it was like I was sitting this morning while I woke up, sitting on a shitter, going through Twitter, and it was like 6 a.m. He's already him and a couple other people are already on, getting ready to play.
All right. We'll see. I've never played any of the series before, except for a couple like open betas a while ago, and it seemed all right. I don't know. I'm gonna sit with it a little bit and see how it goes. But let's get into what we have been playing. A lot of Diablo, of course, but there's some other things to talk about as well. How has your Diablo 4 experiences been? Oh, and before you answer, I do have some breaking news about Diablo 4. This is on Wowhead, that according to an in-game banner, the season of Witchcraft has been bumped out now by an extra 2 weeks. So it was supposed to end like the middle of April, and now they're saying that season 7 ends on April 29th.
So it's end on tax day, the 15th.
Yeah. So now it's an extra 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So season 8.
I wonder what brought that about.
Yeah. So season 8 is not coming at least until April 30th or the 29th. I'm not sure how they cut those things over, but anyways, let's get to your Diablo conversation. I know you've been going back and forth between your Eternal Realm and your seasonal character. You've been grinding away on mythics for your seasonal character. How is that all playing out?
Pretty good. Past couple of gameplays. We've been doing pretty good, getting mythics and some pretty good gear. I think our seasonal characters that we're playing with right now are, I would say, top tier. We've been hauling ass, going through a bunch of stuff, doing different things with no issues at all. It's been comfortable playing. We've tested the waters of Torment 4. And it's like, it's okay, but go back down to Torment 3 where it's a little more enjoyable. And I've got no shame in saying that because I want to have fun when I do these things. So, and we've been doing a lot of boss circulation, going through bosses over and over again, some end game stuff there with that, and been somewhat fruitful at times. More times than not, though, we're getting junk, but not too bad. I've been enjoying it still. And then, I've been going back to the seasonal character, my sorcerer,
Eternal,
which is kind of Eternal. A little more disjointed player build type of thing. He does good. He's great on Torment 1. Torment 2, kind of a little tough for him, but not too bad. I know you've did some rebuilding of your Eternal guy and apparently kind of fucked it up a little bit somehow.
Yeah, so Matt was playing in the Eternal, so I jumped into his game with my Spiritborn, which I haven't touched, so I still have one good Eternal character, the Spiritborn, but my Barbarian, which was fine as well, but idle hands, slow day at work, busted out the Icy Veins website and put a build together almost to a T, with the exception of a few rings and one specific ancestral legendary. And so my guy absolutely wrecked shop in Torment 1 and Torment 2, which is kind of new for us in Eternal Realm, because 2 was always a little bit difficult previously before we got hip to a lot of this stuff. So I could do fine in Torment 2. It does not go well in Torment 3. And then even sometimes in Torment 2, the biggest problem is my cooldowns are way too high. Like some of them are like 45 seconds. There can be periods of time where I can't do anything in the game, that everything is cooling down. And I'm just sitting there taking damage, and it's just... I think I got too greedy. When I look at Icy Veins, they have their endgame build list. And, I got top shelf taste. So I always go to S tier, and sometimes those S tier builds are for really skilled players that maybe know how to get the cooldowns to be a little bit quicker than what I am skilled at. Maybe there's certain combinations I need to be pressing rather than just going hog wild and fucking spazzing out on the controller. So before,
that's what I was going to ask you.
So before I destroy the build, now that you got the armory, that you don't really need to destroy it. Although I did destroy the first build because I wanted to masterwork all this new stuff, and I didn't want to go through the grind of getting all the eggs again. So stuff I didn't need from the first build, I scrapped and got all the eggs and the obdicite. and then applied it to my new build. So on my new build, everything is at least masterworked up to 9. So we'll see once it gets up to 12 if the cooldowns are any better. And then I have 3 glyphs that are in the high single digits, low teens. So maybe as those get up higher to legendary status, my cooldowns will increase as well. And then maybe by then I will have unlocked some of the other pieces. So I'm not going to totally destroy this, but I will be looking at maybe not an S tier build, but whatever the next build is down for a barbarian, and see if that works out any better for me.
That's the nice thing about the armory. You could save what you have and test and experiment with other builds. That is, yeah.
There's something that's catching my eye, though. I noticed I don't think it impacts characters, but it definitely impacts the same character. What I'm trying to get at is when you go to the Codex of Power, it might already say something. You have something in your build or in your bag that already has this. Does that mean if you elect it, it removes it from the other one?
No, it means that if you have something already, I'm just saying you got something out there that spits fireballs, okay, and then you go and you add that same codex to say your gloves that spits fireballs. It's going to be grayed out on your gloves. You can only have one aspect per piece of equipment. So you can still do it. That's the thing, Mike. We've talked about this before with Diablo because it doesn't explain things very well. It will still let you do it, though. It will still let you take those gloves and put the same aspect on those gloves as you have on another item. But it's going to be grayed out, and it's not going to do anything.
On which one? The original item or the new item?
The new item. The new item that you give it to.
I'm probably running into a lot of that then. It didn't tell me that, like, maybe that's why my cooldowns suck. Maybe some of those codexes I got are doing nothing.
If they're grayed out, then they're not doing anything.
No,
because you already. Now I think it's just on an item they have equipped.
You think that would be the opposite? You think if I already have it equipped on item A, and item A is the older item, and I'm running a new item, it would say, okay, we're going to remove it from the older one and add it to the newer one.
Well, it depends. I mean, I think it's if you have it equipped. If it's sitting in your stash, it doesn't matter. Okay, but you can't have it equipped. You can't have 2 things with the same codex equipped.
So let me ask you this. If I take everything off my fucking build and add one item at a time, you know what I'm getting at here? So I'm naked except my gloves. And I'm putting that codex on. I take my gloves off and I put my boots on. I only got my boots on and I'm going to put that same codex on. All right, now it's let me to put on both. Now I put my gloves in and put my boots back on at the same time.
One's going to gray out. One's going to gray out, and you're not going to have them both.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's the one you have equipped will stay, but the item that you add becomes grayed. It doesn't work.
All right. Well, anyways, long story short, my barbarian is in a state of flux right now. It throws a lot of hammers. I'm like fucking what they call those guys in Mario that throw all the hammers? The hammer bros?
The hammer bros.
I'm like a hammer bro.
Well,
but the cooldown, I got to look for I'm really not into the whole shouting, like the war cry for the barbarian. I just want to be stabbing and murdering people. I got like all these things equipped, and I'm doing nothing but throwing hammers and shouting at people. I got to get it. So I might not even keep this build because the more I think about it, I have 3 things that do shout. It's called the triple shout. I want to be stabbing people, murdering people, slicing and dicing and smashing you. So I might just get a whole different build now that I talk about this out loud.
You yell enough at people during the day. You don't want to be yelling at people during the game too.
I have a very, very raspy throat.
Very raspy, yeah. And I think too, you mentioned them before. I think there is a gameplay aspect to it also. I know with my druid, going through icy veins, wowhead, all that, the builds, it tells you, okay, start with this skill, then do this skill, then do this skill. By the time this skill is going, your other skill is back, ready to go. So there is
I'm just fucking hitting them like like a fat kid at a fucking like a fat kid at a candy store, just taking it all, man.
Just taking it all. I was going to say like a virgin on prom night, but just pressing all the buttons.
Yeah. Way to be creepy, Matt. Way to go. 10 demerits or 10 sipping creams, whichever your preference is.
I'll do the sipping creams.
All right. So that's kind of Diablo. I'm looking forward to a new season. The Witchcraft's getting a little old, but we still got another 2 months to go. So we have been mixing in other things. Anything else that you need to talk about before you move on to what you've been playing?
Yeah, if you want to talk about other games, Civilization 7, I picked up finally. I've been talking about it for a while, and I finally got it, and I've been playing it, and it's a great game. Last time I played Civilization game was Civ 5. I didn't play Civ 6. Many nice graphical improvements to the game. The sound is a lot better. You can hear more things. The graphics are really cool. More animations and more buildings, and the mechanics of the game has changed some since I played it last. A little different, little bit of a learning curve there with things and how to play and stuff like that. But I'm excited that back into the Civ games. It's also Steam Deck verified, but it's not as fun to play on the Steam Deck as is on the PC. I'm used to Civ playing keyboard mouse, okay? And there's a lot of menus and stuff that pop up during the game, and a lot of menu things you gotta do. And like I said, it is Steam verified, but it's difficult to navigate and to do things on the Steam Deck. And again, I'm not used to playing with controllers for that game. But it is playable. It does look good. It works in a pinch. It's not bad.
So when you're playing it at your desk right there, you're playing it on you're playing mouse and keyboard. When you're on the couch or at work, you're on the Steam Deck, and obviously that is the built-in controls. Now I know when we spoke the other day, you said there was a learning curve, like you just mentioned. Have you started to wrap your head around that learning curve, or you're still getting demolished? What do you do in Civ 7? You get conquered, defeated? What is the term?
You can get conquered. You can get defeated. You can have your cities overrun by barbarians and other hostile people or whatever. So yeah, I'm starting to learn a little bit more as far as strategy goes, wise for what to focus on for building your units, or what to focus on for town building and map growing and so forth. Exploring all that. The diplomacy is different in this game than I'm used to in the past, to where when diplomacy comes up, you've got two choices, and then a bad choice, or could be a neutral choice, and you just gotta kind of be careful what you choose there a little bit more. I'm starting to get the hang of it. I'm not at the point yet where I'm an all-nighter with the game, as far as just one more turn, but I'm slowly, all right, okay, I've learned this part about it. I understand how this works. Okay, cool. Now here's this aspect of the game. I want to learn how this works and how this goes. Okay, cool. But I've restarted a few times just because I'm learning and I'm seeing how the game works, and I'm cool with that. So but it's good. It's
how come life's
improvements? Yeah, no shit. Big improvements with graphics and sound, though. That's a huge takeaway for me. The controls, quality of life things they've improved and done on that. Yes, I say simplified some things that used to be back in the day was a little more complicated, a little more steps you had to do. But now they simplified them. Some things made a couple other things a little more complicated. It's all balanced out, but I'm looking forward to getting a lot of gameplay into this thing. It's not bad.
Very good. A little diversifying your taste. And of course, not a game for me, but happy to see.
Yeah, I'm not sure you'd like it, Mike. Yeah, I don't think it's up your alley. I don't think you would like it at all.
Well, we're going to talk next about a game that I'm really liking. I know you have just dabbled a little bit, so I need to hear your impressions before I go hog wild on this. So,
been playing some more.
So tell me about Avowed.
So I actually restarted yesterday afternoon. I restarted my playthrough and that. I wasn't that far into it.
Yesterday afternoon. Were you home on the day?
I got home a little early yesterday.
Oh, that's right. They took your work computer and put it under the knife.
Yes, Windows got Windows 11 now. Yeah, which so far is okay. Yeah. So I just started over in that. And I paid more attention through the tutorial and messages that pop up and everything like that. And Mike, you talked about this the other night we was playing. It's a more tactical, slow game. And obviously, Diablo is fast-paced, a lot of button mashing. This a little more strategy as far as blocking, dodging, getting out of the way. I learned that with the first. I guess it's a boss fight. There is
anytime there's like a guy that's like
the red bar.
The real long red bar. All the enemies are going to have the red bar, but the real long ones is some type of boss.
So is that considered a boss fight then? Okay. I'm enjoying it. It's great. Another game that throws a lot at you. The menu UI seems a little clunky. The inventory management and that seems. I just gotta.
There was an update today that made it better.
Okay.
A little bit better.
All right. I liked it when you're near, like, I guess, treasure. You hear it like in Fortnite. If people play Fortnite, you hear the treasure chests. They got something similar to that in this game. I'm in the first, I guess, major town. I got past the first part where you were shipwrecked and you get off that island, so forth. You met the girl.
So you're in, like, I think it's called Dawnforge now.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, and now instead of the blue Smurf following you around, you got some greenish blue guy that follows you around.
That's my, I'll get into my full takes here in a minute, but I think these games in general, whether it's Elder Scrolls, Oblivion, whatever, it really takes me out of the fucking game when the character is blue, green, a talking snake person that sounds like Joe from the bar.
Yeah.
Like, all right, I get it. This is fantasy, but can we give them like a different voice, a different accent to make them somewhat? I'm not saying each word is going to have like a snake. I'm not looking to like be annoyed that way, but give them some sort of flair. I don't want to sound like it's like some guy I went to school with.
Right.
Tony from down the street. And he's got blue, and he looks like he's got snake skin, and he's bluish green. I'm getting past that, but that was like one of my first takeaways. Like, yeah, Matt's. I think I said, the game's kind of cutesy. He's like, well, what gives you that when you fucking the blue Smurf met you off as soon as you woke up from the boat?
Yep.
Someone out there smarter than me is gonna be like, well, Mike, this comes back from Dungeons and Dragons or blah 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 blah. This has been in games since the dawn of time. Well, that's fucking great. I'm not saying they can't be there, that they don't have a place or purpose. But for fuck's sake, you got all these other characters that have more interesting voices.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you giving the blue guys like a Matt or Mike voice?
Exactly. The dude could be sitting here podcasting with us, and you wouldn't know the son bitch is blue and furry and got big fucking ears. Hell, for people care, people know we might be that blue person. But speaking of that, the game looks fabulous, I think.
Now, are you playing it on the Xbox or are you playing it on PC?
I'm playing on PC because you said that you switched. You started playing on PC, so I'm playing on PC, and it looks great. The water and it looks great. The grass, the characters, the models, everything. It looks really, really good. It does. It's a nice look and feel to the game.
Now, we should just pause there for a second and just let people know we are playing not on the Steam version. We're playing on PC GamePass.
Yes, that is correct. Yeah.
Now, did you happen to look at your settings to see what your system defaulted to for FPS?
120.
You're playing at 120.
Well, the limit is at 120. It's playing at between 50 and 60.
Okay. Yeah, mine is set to 60, and I'm very, very happy with the way it is, so I haven't bumped it up at all. I don't want to put any undue stress on the system. I'm sure my system could probably go higher. For some reason, NVIDIA is not picking the game up in their app and giving me like the recommended settings. So I'm kind of like waiting for that to kick in. So then maybe it will bump up the FPS a little bit, but I'm playing it at 60 and it's absolutely fine. Now,
yeah,
I have probably somewhere around 15 hours in the game. And I would say I'm like an 80-20 split. 80% I've played on the Xbox, 20% on PC. Now the Xbox, it's one of the few games that has come out with the balanced mode, which is kind of like a hybrid between quality and performance. So when you play in balanced mode on the console, you're playing at 40 frames per second, and you're getting, that combination of, graphic fidelity and performance all wrapped into one. So I've been having, it's fine on balance mode, but boy, when I fire it up on the PC, I'm not saying it's night and day difference, but it is spectacular on the PC.
Yeah, I think the HDR is better.
Yeah,
on the PC.
You especially notice it like scenery, water, like you said, the lights coming off the bricks. But put your guy in third person and see all the details on the character.
Yeah, I want to touch on that for a minute. So in the game, hopefully these aren't spoilers, but you're supposed to be like some type of godlike person or being or something like that. And the game, you can choose like this shit that gets on your face or whatever, or you're marked, I guess, or something like that.
Is that fungal?
And you can turn,
It's fungal, right?
Fungal, yeah. And you can turn that off.
Oh, you can.
It gives you an option to turn that off when you create your character. But it says, players will still act like you have it on. Well, then don't give me the option to turn it off, because it takes you out of the game when you're sitting there and you look, like a god, like I am. Okay. And they're saying, what's wrong with your face? What do you got all over you? And you're like, what the fuck are you talking about? My face is fine. And you think, oh, that's right.
I kept it on.
I turned it off, but I guess I understand. But don't give me the option to turn it off.
I think they turned it off because some people, I don't know, some people have like phobias of that or something. I don't know. I have some people don't like either visually it was upsetting to people, or some people have phobias of something. So I think.
Well, that's great, but the problem is the other people that you have it on their face still.
Right.
So you're still going to see it.
This is I don't have a strong opinion about that one way or the other. I get it from the dev's perspective. It'd be too much to code that out. Like, okay, player A decided not to put it on his face, but that's like kind of like the whole story. So it's like
that's what
that's
what I'm getting at.
Don't give players an option. Okay,
that's what I'm getting at. Yeah, yeah. I think the combat's great in the game. I'm sorry, Mike.
Well, I wanted to get back to the visuals a little bit. When we first started playing, we both said, well, Matt said he was getting a little sick because of the first-person perspective on the console, the field of view. I have been doing a mix of, when I am in combat, absolutely playing first-person, because I don't think the hit detection is correct when you're in third-person. Now, if I'm just running around town traversals and things like that, more often than not, I switch to third person. It's just a simple clicking in of the right thumbstick to bounce between the two. But I do feel like when I am in first person on PC, it doesn't feel as weird of an angle when I'm on console. But I am getting used to it over time, where it's not having any impact to me whatsoever.
Nice.
What about you? Are you feeling? Are you getting used to it?
I am. I'm getting used to it. Yeah. It seems. I think you said too. Also, the field of view. I know you can adjust it, but it's different on the PC than it was on the Xbox. Something's different playing on PC than on the Xbox. I also turned down
bells and whistles.
I turned down the motion blur, and I think that helped also doing that. So that helped. But I say the combat, I think is pretty good. It's a little bit of a slow pace type of game thing. That I like the magic in it so far. Yeah, the spells and stuff.
So, what type of character have you gone with?
As far as the background, I'm the dude who likes the wilderness and stuff and scouting and all that.
No, but I think when you go with your skills, I'm not putting everything in. If I'm not using any spells, I'm not putting anything in that. Now, maybe that's going to burn me down the road.
I'm
more of a fighter, so I'm putting all my skills in that area.
And now, so I've got the axe. You find the bow. Okay. Another thing that's kind of cool. You can switch builds on the fly by pressing Y. So right now I got one hand, I got my axe, and the other hand I got that book or whatever. And I can shoot fire at people, which is pretty cool. I like that. And then you get these magic missiles you can. So I'm kind of digging the spells and fire, and I'm probably will build on that aspect of it than the barbarian brute type of guy, because we've talked about this before. I like going with a spellcaster more than.
The problem for me is like we talked about with Diablo, the cooldowns, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're.
So I'm going with more of a brute guy, and when I touched base with you a few days ago, definitely more plotting, blocking, parrying. I got to tell you what, though, now that I'm 15 hours in, I'm still in the same area you are, but it's got the map's got that whole fog of war thing, right? So you try to clear it out, and I am looting and collecting stuff like crazy, and I all my gear right now is the gold unique, and
oh wow,
I'm just shredding dudes with. I have a special shield and it's like a frozen axe, and I'm just shredding dudes with that. But more importantly, I also have this one-shot rifle in my other build. So when I see these dinosaur guys that I'm fighting, or these ghost or skeleton guys, I'm picking them off from a while away. And I got my gun up to I want to say right now it's 102 damage. Mm-hmm. So a lot of these lower enemies are just one shot and dead. So I am actually playing more like Diablo than I am playing Sea of Thieves. The beginning of the game reminded me a lot of Sea of Thieves, where it was parrying, more strategic, like you said. But as I'm getting more powerful, I have a berserker rush that I can do on guys. A lot of those guys will die that way, or I shoot my gun, and then I can do a shield bash, and I got my frozen axe. There's one area that you want to go to explore. It's kind of like an open gazebo type area, and there's a pond in the middle, and there's a frozen axe. You pull it out, and then a whole bunch of skeletons come out of the woodwork. But once you do that, you get a very nice axe.
Ooh, okay.
So I progressed enough to the story to go to the next world or the next island or whatever. But a lot of people say this is going to take 50 hours to play if you're very thorough. I expect this to be a 150-hour game for me, the way I'm playing.
Yeah.
And, every nook and cranny is being explored to get it, because I like the looting. I like unlocking the chest. I like the I really, really love this game. I'm in no rush to beat it and to move on to something. So if it takes me 80 hours or 100 hours, like, so be it. To me, it doesn't feel like a game that's too deep in the weeds. That's like, man, I just got done with work, family time, and now I got to sit down and wrap my head around this. It feels like it's easy to pick up and play. It's got some bones in it to make it, not like too kiddie, like a child. It's not a childish game by any means, but it's not like something I got to sit there and like get out pen and paper and figure out all these numbers. It seems like they've streamlined that some gear. I think, some things that are missing. There's no compare screen that I could find. Like if I pick up boots up, I can't compare what I'm wearing versus what. And that seems like a big miss. This is like 101 type stuff in games like this.
I agree with you there. I was looking for that today. I was like, oh, what? Yeah, the whole UI in general, menu system, is a little clunky. It could be because I'm not used to it. Okay.
Yeah, like obviously, when I want to go into my menu, I always want to press the start button, and the start button just brings up the save screen. And I'm doing a lot of save scumming. I'm doing a lot of after big moments. I'm saving just to cover my butt, even though the game doesn't auto save every 10 minutes. Anytime I feel
that can happen.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the menu takes a little bit to get used to for sure. There's layers within that menu. RB to go across the whole menu, right trigger, left trigger to go inside the current menu that you're on. There's lots of tiers to the menus. It's not, there's some things are nice about it. Yeah. You can break items down right inside your gear stash. You don't have to be at camp. You can send stuff to the stash right from your menu. So there's some nice quality of life things there. As you're getting encumbered. One thing I noticed now that with the new update is if you pick up a weapon and it's lower tier than what you have, the weapon now will have the red down arrow, so you just picked up. Good. You just picked up something that's of lesser value than what you have equipped.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, but I'm really loving it. I recommend people trying it on GamePass if you have it. I'm having a great time with it. If I had to put a score on it right now, I wouldn't go as high as like Paris at Gamertag Radio and say a 9.5. I'm too early for that because I'm only like in the first place. But if someone said Mike, give it a score today, I'd say 8.5, trending towards a 9. The story is pretty good, pretty decent. The two characters that I'm with are not annoying me. They did an update today to make those characters a little bit more impactful as far as the damage that they're doing, because sometimes they were kind of not doing much. Have you wrapped your head around controlling them?
Not yet. I just got, like I said, I just got in that first major town. Just got the reptilian guy, snake guy, wherever it is. So I have not really wrapped my hands around how that whole system works. So I still got to kind of so you learn that. You can level them up and give them skills, and then when you press, I think it's LB or RB. I think it's LB. Yeah, hit LB, and then
a wheel comes
use
up.
The wheel,
and you can have them do stuff, but they do stuff on their own, anyways.
I think that aspect of it's nice. I also think the tutorials. Excuse me, the tutorials. They're not gone. You can go in your journal and you can still go back and touch up on those again. So that's nice.
If Matt survives this coughing fit, we might have heard the last of Matt. But yeah, anybody listening who's on the fence, definitely try it out.
Definitely.
My advice is explore anywhere and everywhere. If you can see it, you can pretty much go there. There's some puzzles within the game, but I think they're very easy puzzles to decipher. A lot of nice parkouring in the game. Steady flow of loot and food and essence to pick up. I don't think it's called gold. It might be copper or something else along those lines. But if you like going around and exploring and pushing off the main story for a bit and not even doing side quests, just exploring to level up your guy and get gear so you're ready for some of those other battles in the side quest and main story, it's the game for you. I'm having a blast with it. I really
It's definitely a game to if you like exploring and walking around doing things, definitely a game for that. I know when I first got out of town, I'm walking on the dock, and I kind of accidentally, purposely see if I could, walk off the dock, and I did, right down in the water. And so now I'm swimming down around the water and stuff, which looks beautiful. And there's treasure chests under the water, under these there's these boats and shit, and underneath it you can there's all types of stuff you can find everywhere. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It
is. I'm pleasantly surprised because I'll be honest, some of the trailers that they put out for this game, it really didn't do too much for me. I thought it looked a little wonky, and I'm excited to play more of it because people say it really picks up around hour 20, so I'm almost at hour 20. So I am eager to see what the rest of the game brings me, but I'm very happy with how powerful my guy is right now. I've gotten through a bunch of bosses. Sometimes I've died, so be it, but I'm getting pretty powerful to this point, and I'm making good progress. Every time I play the game, I feel like I've either learned something, discovered something, completed something. I always feel left satisfied after a play session.
Yeah, I think for me, this game and Civ 7, it's a nice change of pace of what we've been doing, lately.
Yep.
What we've been playing with now. I do enjoy at night getting on, and Mike and I get in here and Discord and chat and talk and bullshit and stuff like that. And it's nice getting some games in here. Not necessarily I won't be in Discord, not talking to you or something like that, but just a change of pace of games for us to be playing is nice.
And that gets me back to, like, someone's got to develop a co-op game like this. I know this is the Elder Scrolls Online, but boy, I didn't like the Elder Scrolls Online. It felt very flat to me. But I would like to, like a Witcher, Avowed. I know you can do stuff like Elden Ring. I'm not sure if that's completely co-op. That might be more like, calling in assistance or whatever. But yeah, it'd be nice to have a co-op experience with this. Anything else to say about Avowed?
Nothing else about Avowed.
Just so people are aware, a game like Avowed took 6 years to make. 3 vertical slices and 2 reboots. Now, Matt, you were probably acutely aware of doing a lot of projects at work, that nothing is very linear, right? You might have the best intentions that you'd like to go from concept to proof to build to completion. I'm sure there's a lot of other steps in there. I'm simplifying. But things come up. Plans change. People nix this plan. Government steps in. All these things all these variables. So a game like Avowed took 6 years to make and had 2 different reboots along the way. And, it's been a tough week for gaming, and we had some WB Games close down 3 studios, and they had the Wonder Woman game get canceled, and it's just a eye-opening thing to see how long it can take to make a game, and a lot of times it's because people have different ideas, leadership changes, someone thought they had the great plan, and then they leave, and you might see that at work too, like people that you work with on the other end, and it's got to be like this, and then that guy or woman gets a job somewhere else, and some other guy comes in and says, no, actually, I think we should be doing it this way, and that person had incorrect data or whatever, So just...
that sucks when that happens.
Yeah. Other things I've been playing, just real quickly, I've been playing Diablo 3 again, because I was doing so much with Diablo 4 that I felt like I needed more Diablo in my life, but really, the rogue character I have now in Diablo 4 is very little hack and slash, and I wanted to get into back into some hacking and slashing, and so I booted up Diablo 3, and I got my barbarian there, and I'm making progress. I have finished Diablo 3 once many, many years ago, maybe about 10 years ago, but it was someone power leveled me through the campaign, and I missed it all. So I am committed at some point to finishing this, so I'm slowly chipping away at Diablo 3's campaign to finish that. Lost Records Bloom and Rage. This is from the Don't Nod people. They put out the Life is Strange games. Definitely not a game, I don't think, for you, Matt. It's a narrative game. Young girls in the 80s or 90s. It was free with PS Plus. I was a little burnt, feeling a little toasty from Diablo 4 one night. My family was away in Portugal, so I wanted to play this just to get a little something different. Played through the first couple hours. They're releasing these things in sort of episodic cadence. So I want to get through this episode and then be ready for the next one. But it's pretty decent. And the last thing I've been playing, there's a demo. This game is already out on PlayStation. It's coming to Xbox very soon. But this is a really artsy-looking sort of Souls game that is on PlayStation. It's called The First Berserker Kazan. Beautiful looking game. Really nice art style. Hard as balls, though. You know, picture Bloodborne type, Matt. Remember how much fun you had with Bloodborne? You know,
yeah, it was a great game.
Really, really difficult, but there's a demo on PlayStation, so I downloaded the demo. Didn't get very far. Was dying a lot, but boy, it's a handsome looking game for sure. So that is everything I have been playing. And we just have 2 news stories here before we get out of your hair. The first is Fable has been delayed to 2026. Now, Matt, do you have any history with Fable at all?
I played Fable 3. Was that the big famous one on Xbox?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I played that. That was fun. That's one where you can get like married and everything and all that shit. Yeah, that was a good game.
So, Craig Duncan at Xbox said, we're really excited about Fable's progress and where Playground games are. We previously announced Fable as 2025. We are actually going to give Fable more time. It's going to ship in 2026 now. So part of me says Playground Games makes fabulous Forza games, right? The Forza Horizon games are made by Playground. So it'd be interesting to see what they would do in a Fable game. So give them more time to cook, because I think that will only be better for them. The skeptic in me says, Matt, or I don't know, skeptic, are they moving Fable to 2026 because Grand Theft Auto is, do they have inside knowledge that GTA is coming out in 2025?
It's coming.
And they don't want all this work that Playground has done for Fable to get swallowed up by GTA. I know they're not similar games, but anything and everything is going to get swallowed by GTA.
Sure. Yeah. So. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, everyone's kind of watching for that. Maybe they get some inside information. Maybe I don't know if there's like gentleman agreements with some of these studios. Like, hey, Fable, you might want to delay for a couple of months because we're coming out. I don't know, but
well, I'm sure Xbox and PlayStation has to know. Like, hey, the game is ready. They got to get their marketing beats in as well. They just can't be surprised. They're like, they got to get their servers ready. They got to get the game loaded on their store and all that stuff. So they have to be tied in. Gentleman's agreement or not, they have to know.
Yeah.
While we're talking about Game Pass and games, April 25th, Forza Horizon will be available on PlayStation. And sometime in April as well, the Indiana Jones game will be on PlayStation as well.
Are you planning on looking at either one of them 2 games on PlayStation to see how it looks and feels?
No. I mean, I already have the Forza Horizon on Xbox. I don't think your purchases carry over there. Now, if they said it was like a cross-buy thing, sure, I would boot it up over there. But no, I probably won't buy. And I haven't done anything with Indiana Jones, so I will just stay on Xbox with those.
Sure.
I'm curious how well they're going to sell. I think Forza is going to do really well for them on PlayStation, and I think Indiana Jones is a big enough name that it will get some sales for sure. Now, Matt, as earlier in the show, I was complaining about the PlayStation Plus locks. One game that I discovered that was locked, and I told you I've played before, and I just couldn't figure out from where, was Balatro. At one time, Balatro was on PS Plus, and that's where I played it. and I couldn't play it last night. But we'll end the show on some good news that Balatro now is on GamePass, so I can play it there for free. But also PEGI, which is the sort of, what would you say, in our, the ESRB in the United States, PEGI is like the equivalent in Europe, and they originally classified the game as 18.
Because of gambling and so forth, poker and all that. Yeah.
And they've recategorized it now to be suitable for players 12 and up.
That's a good thing. That's good. I mean, I can see where they're saying with that, because it is, poker and all that, but you weren't really gambling. It was more of a game of skill. Balatro, because you can, set up your decks and so forth and that. It wasn't really, but that's good for them. More people can play it, hopefully. I'm not sure how much of a stickler they are with that PEGI 18 and all that stuff. And if, still parents, okay, whatever, you can buy it for little Johnny or Susie or whatever still. But it's a good thing. More the game out there more.
I am not hip to these things because even though my kids have all the Xboxes, I don't lock those down due to age, right? They're wide open. But someone will have to let me know if you put like family conditions on your game, whether you're in Europe or you're here in the US, does it hide all those games? So if I before this PEGI thing came along and my son is 11 and we lived in Europe and I had a family, laws or whatever the settings are on the console, would it hide all those games that are?
I'm assuming it would.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if it does that.
Yeah.
But I'll be playing some Balatro on Game Pass. I've got it downloaded here. It's on PC Game Pass as well. So I'm gonna check it out.
Nice. Good for them. That's just a great game too.
All right, sir. We're about at the hour and a half mark. A little long for us. Very verbose on a Thursday night. Lots of things to discuss, especially the sipping cream. Anything that you want to touch upon before we say goodbye to the people?
Yeah, with everything going on in this crazy world, everyone just go out and still have a good time, relax, enjoy what you can, while you can, and just be you. Don't change for anybody,
unless you're an asshole.
Well, if you're an asshole, you are going to be an asshole. But keep being an asshole. Don't change. Don't become a nice guy. Then, just you be you, I suppose.
And that's Paul Harvey with the nose.
Good day.
It just doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. I tell you, it just doesn't matter.